Want to master anime character design for free? This course is your first step on the journey to anime character design art learning pathway. Brushcamp offers tons of similar courses in illustration, 2D, 3D design. Level up your creativity with free knowledge and courses. Visit brushcamp.com today and explore endless possibilities. Hi everyone, I'm 𝗍𝗯𝗀𝗃, and welcome back to my course. In the previous video, I introduced you to the anime drawing market, as well as the characteristics and drawing style of anime. Now I will show you how to create canvas texture in MediBang, so that you can draw, the way to create files and export files, so that you can know how to customize the format of the file you are drawing, and as well as the parameters, sizes, etc. that I recommend. This is the main interface when you turn on MediBang. You will see, even in the middle they have basic instructions for you. To create a new picture, a new canvas, click File and select New. You will see a table of parameters appear, such as width and height. Then this paper size will depend on how you want to set it. Then you can set 1920 minus 1080 like this. This is the same size as your screen. As for larger and landscape-oriented paper sizes, you can adjust here. For example, if the height is less than the width, it will produce a rectangle and vice versa. If the number of lengths is greater than the width, it will give the size of the vertical picture, depending on the layout you want to draw. You can adjust the settings to match your drawing style. This is the reverse button, which means you will swap the sizes of these two. For example, the above is the vertical size, but you want to keep it the same, but change it to horizontal. Click here. It will automatically switch over for you. Or here, it will have parameters available to you. Common parameters, such as a 4, a 5, a 6, you can refer. As for resolution, usually by default in other apps, they will set 75 dpi for you, but I encourage you to set 150 minus 300 dpi to ensure the clearest image quality, as well as later if you want to print. It is also higher quality, and here is the background color, that is, when you create your drawing. You want the background to be white or colorless. You will adjust here. For example, I will leave the background white. When I click OK, here it will show a white background. And if I choose any color, for example, this color, you see? I can completely change the color. It's up to you to draw or not. And you can also choose transparent here. Once you create this, here will be a transparent layer. For example, you leave the background white like this. But if you want to export a transparent file, it will still show you. It's the same here. Let me try again. And below this, it will save all the parameters you have used. Ever set up? If you want to choose the size that I've used before, you just need to choose one of these. As for these two, if you use it for printing purposes, choose this 𝗍𝗀𝗋𝗃. If you are only looking at the screen of your phone or computer, you should choose this color RGB. This is a popular color. This color 𝗍𝗀𝗋𝗃 is for printing only, and if you do not have printing purposes, you can leave the RGB color. After choose everything, click OK to create this new canvas. Then if you don't like this paper size, you can customize it. It has a custom button in image size. You just need to click Edit Image Size and enter the parameters you want. For example, if I want to change to 3000, the above will immediately change it for you. When you save the file, click Save As. Then click Save as Type. You can use common formats. The first is a MediBang file, a separate file of MediBang software. You just need to open it and continue drawing. Next is N. As you probably already know, it will output an image. If you do not draw the background and fill it, it will default to your background as a transparent background. It will produce a transparent background. JPEG is a normal image. As for the bitmap, you don't need to pay too much attention, because this is often not used and is not very popular. I encourage you that, if you want to save a file to continue drawing or editing, you should save the file as a PSD. Because PSD is a common format that you can open from any app. Because now this format becomes a national format, the default style, then you can completely open it on another app to see. For example, Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. You can open it as a PSD file. If you use Clip Studio Paint to open the MediBang file, it will not work at all, because PSD is such a well-known format. Every app has this format. So I recommend you to use this. For your convenience to change apps, change computer or change something, and still want to draw your pictures. After you have saved it, you just need to click save and you're done. After you have saved it, the next steps you just need to press Ctrl+S. That's how I create a drawing file on MediBang. This is the MediBang Paint Pro software that I mentioned in the previous video. You can see that in the lower left corner of the screen, there is usually a table recording all the shortcuts that you use in the process of drawing. This is a very important thing. If you pay attention, you will understand what I just manipulated, or how to do mouse movements, to be able to switch from one tool to another quickly. I will also show you the keyboard shortcuts, but to make it easier to remember, please pay attention to the table in the left corner. As you can see, on this side is the brushes board. Each brush here has a different property, like this one. I will draw so everyone can see the different properties of each brush. The shapes of the brush like this will help you a lot in the drawing process, to create your own identity, and help you a lot in the process of coloring and line. In these videos, I will use mainly basic brushes. It's this brush, pencil rough 2, and this brush. Why do I use these brushes? As you know, this brush will help you sketch its strokes softer. It will give you the feeling of using a pencil. For those of you who don't have this brush or don't like it, you can completely sketch with these brush. Or you sketch with this pen, it will give the result. It will bring you closer feeling. Even when you want to draw a sharper line, it will be even simpler. I'll introduce the tools available on MediBang's interface panel. Although this is a guide to using MediBang, it still applies to some other software, such as Photoshop, because most of the tools of the drawing software will have some similarities with each other. And now I will start with the first tool. That is the brush tool. What is brush? I'm drawing with a brush. Brush is what you use to draw lines. Then its shortcut is B. That means you just need to press B. Your computer mouse will automatically switch to this brush. Here is an interesting feature of this brush. that I also discovered not long ago. That is, if you're drawing. For example, I'm drawing this, but you don't like it anymore. Then you can press the Z key. Press the Z key and erase the part that you just drew with that brush. The next tool is the eraser tool. This is what you draw, but if you don't like it anymore, you can completely erase it with this tool, and the shortcut of this tool is E. What's the difference between using the brush and the eraser? I'll take an example. Now I will enlarge the brush and draw this for example. If you notice, if you press C, the erased area mimics the brush strokes I made. The properties and even the size of it, like a brush I draw. And if you use eraser, it will have its own size and characteristics that you have previously set, and it erases very definitively. So if in case you don't have time, or you are lazy to adjust the size of the eraser to fit the area you just finished drawing, then you can apply the way I just showed. That is, still hold the brush and hold the Z, so that you can both draw and erase at the same time. And if you delete large arrays, I still recommend using the eraser tool specifically for it. The next box is a tool to help you draw things faster. If you notice, this is the area that comes with this square tool. Then in the first item there is a straight line. This will be a tool to help you draw straight lines quickly. By moving the mouse cursor, this is very definitive, and the next box is a zigzag. You can draw a certain shape, but you just need to fill that selection. It will automatically draw a wrap around it. Next is the circle tool to draw a circle. I'm sure you can easily recognize it. It is quite similar to the original paint tool. It will help you draw curves. If you want a stroke, you can still seal it like the zigzag tool earlier. And I really like these last three tools. These last three tools will help your drawing process faster. That is, you will draw squares, circles, and this shape. Very simple. I think most of you will use these last two tools more, which are squares and circles. This is the brush that you will paint on only 1 pixel. You notice, this is a brush and it's only drawn 1 pixel per line. This is a brush that I think you will rarely use if you really want to paint pixel art. And here's the move button. After you've drawn these areas, and you want to move it, here's the button. You just drag it around. The shortcut of the move is V. I'll give you an example. You just need to press V. You can move this whole cluster. And here is a very fast way to color in a certain selection. You can see that the corresponding tool is a square. Then you will pour a very large array of colors along this square. Only tools that you really use often have keyboard shortcuts. If not, you have to do it manually by clicking on that icon. This tool is the fill tool. Fill color, its shortcut will be G. What are the characteristics of this brush? You will have 2 ways to pour. You have 2 ways to pour. You draw a very tight shape. Then pour in the color you like. And the second type. You see that there's an option here. That is canvas. It means you will take the layer. We'll pour it on that layer. If I create another layer now, and I draw another one on top of each other, you can still make changes. It still remembers your overlaps like this. And it's completely possible to fill in the color inside the areas you just finished painting. If you change from canvas to layer, and you fill it with colors, then it will note that your fill area is just the area inside the stroke of the layer you are coloring. Continuing is something that is no longer strange. That is gradient. How to use gradient? It's right here. These are the two colors that you will be able to pour. Gradient in MediBang will not support you to pour too many colors at once. It will only let you chroma up to two colors in the same gradation. So for example, here I want to pour pink and blue for example, then I will choose one pink color above. Below this I will click on the next color box. You will see it just converted to, and I'm going to scroll down to this blue, and then I'll pull. You drag from the bottom up or from the top. It will swap the position of two different colors. Next is the selection. It's like, you've already drawn this, but now you just want to move part of what you've drawn and keep the rest. You just need to circle this. It's in use. You just need to press V to be able to move this cluster away, or Ctrl+T to zoom out, zoom in. I will guide you. If you want to change the size or shape of what you just drew, you just need to press Ctrl+T, then it will appear. Here is flip, which means flip upside down. Here is free transform, it will determine zoom in and out. For example, if you don't click on this, when you drag it in and out, it won't resize inside. It simply keeps its original size and enlarges. If you click on free transform, you will see that you can change the large and small corners of the icon you are drawing. This in the drawing process will help you rebalance the proportions of the pictures you draw. You click cancel to cancel. I will write here a new key combination, which is Ctrl+T, transform. Also similar, this is a bit different from the one above. You can draw your own selection, not necessarily a rectangle. And you can press Ctrl+D to cancel your selection. And here is the magic wand tool. This tool is a tool to help you select an area that should be in the line art area. For example, like this, you will see in the parts that are covered by the line art, it will find the areas where it is similar. If you hold Shift, you can add the selection. And you hold Ctrl to delete your selection. You can apply these three tools to color. For example, now I want to fill the color. Then I circle this and click this. You have just filled the color in your own selection. You can even use this selection to delete the parts you don't like anymore. And here is a tool similar to the two above. But this one is that you will draw the selection for yourself. After you've selected this, and you start to feel that this is too small and can't be drawn, you color this in red. Then you just need to press G to fill the color, or Ctrl+T. It will display a selection like what you have filled. If this is used to draw a selection, the same tool right below will help you erase the selection you just finished drawing. As for this T, I guess I don't need to repeat it again. This is a text tool. You just need to put T in, and you will insert something on the screen. Only after you log in will you be able to use this tool. But it will not need to log in if you use Photoshop or other similar software. And this one is the color sucker. Let me try it. If I draw in section like this, and this tool, it will help you to suck the color that you have. For example, I'll choose the black brush I'm drawing with, but then I want to pick the color here. But I can't pick it exactly on this palette. Then this is the time when you use this tool. You suck this color out, then after you draw it again, it will be the same color. The key combination of this color sucker is the Alt button. Now I will use a series of key combinations for you to see. First, I'll press B so I can draw a picture. Press E to delete one leaf, and I press B to draw another leaf. Then I'll color it. And I will suck this purple color to paint the pistil. And then I'll move this flower. Oh no, I can't move all of them. Now it's time for you to use this selection to bring the flower to another place. And now you see that this place is so mess. I want to erase this selection area to keep the canvas neat. You just need to click this, then click delete it. That's it, or press the delete combination. Here it should be the delete button. To be able to delete the entire area that you just finished drawing. Because I'm very lazy, so I converted the delete button to the D button. To delete all of them, you just need to press the delete button. Next is this board. I'm sure you've seen me click on this place many times since then. I will explain it to you. This is the brush control. That is, above you will adjust the size of the brush. You zoom in on this. Your brush is very large. If it is smaller, the smallness of your strokes will become smaller and smaller, like that. This constant resizing makes your paintings more flexible and gives you the look you want. The next paragraph is the area to adjust the opacity, the level of clarity of your brush. For example, at 100% it would look like this. But the more you reduce it, the lighter it will be. And it's almost transparent. Do you see? And if I increase it again, it will become darker and clearer like this. These are all important notes that you need to keep in mind while drawing. Ctrl+Z to go back. Go back to the steps you just finished. Go back to the previous initial steps. For example, if you draw a stroke and you don't like it anymore, you Ctrl+Z will treat it as if nothing happened. It's like a machine that remakes your life. Next is this. The above series is the supporting software for you. It is very specialized for drawing manga. For example, click on the first one. You will see red lines extending. This is what helps you draw in one direction, without your brush going in another direction. You just need to draw. The brush will automatically follow the line available for you. Even on this road, you can customize its degree of inclination. That is, you click on the cog, then you rotate in the direction you like. And you click on the cog one more time to change to another direction, or you click here to cancel the action you just did. We will have a square line like this for you to draw lines that are perpendicular to each other. This is something you can customize. In this part will be the background drawing software. It will be to draw the context for you to use as you like. If you take a course on background, you will know in more detail how to use this. And here too, here is also a convergence point to draw the focal points. And this focal point can be moved. You click on the gear to move it. For example, I want to focus my attention on this flower. Then I just need to move that tool to the flower as the center. Then when I draw, my entire drawing line will be focused like this. You see, the effect of a comic drawing software. And this is a circle. It's the same as the previous tool, only it is a circle and you can completely adjust its center. This helps you to draw big curved lines that you can't do. Here's an example. For example, I want to draw a very large line, but it must be closed. Then you just need to draw it. It will follow this line. Even this one can move. And it can zoom in and out for you to draw along. It's kind of like a frame for you to draw or a board or something. This is a circle, you can still draw it and even resize it. After you release your hand, it will save and remember the shape you drew. And now you can zoom in, zoom out. You can draw it continuously. You press the gear. So it will go back to the beginning and you can draw another shape. And here, you can go back and forth to this. To be able in the process of drawing it will be easy for you to move the picture. Or adjust to an angle where you can easily draw. After the rotation is complete, this button is the button that helps you reset the angle of your head. And this last one is to help you turn the picture over, to check the balance of the picture you just drew. This is the zoom in button. This is the zoom out button. In the layers panel, I will have this button to create a new layer. These are not very necessary. I never use them. This is creating a directory. And now I will give you an example. What does this folder do? On this I will draw one more flower as a new layer. That's it, and I'll put the two I just drew in this folder. Then this will help you shrink this folder. And it will be easier to group them into a certain type of option. Just turn it off, it will automatically turn off once. And if you move it, you will move many layers at once, without affecting the layer outside them. You can delete it using the trash can button. If you like, you can duplicate it, multiply by 2. It will duplicate the folder for you while keeping its properties and layers intact. And it applies to individual layers as well. And this one is the aggregate. After you finish drawing them, you want to combine them into one layer for convenience and easy management. You just need to click this button. Or its button combination is Ctrl+C. As you can see, this is layer 1. Now I'm going to pour a color over it. I would choose pastel colors, pastel yellow. And there's a feature like this, if you draw a circle now. Then when you delete it, it will lose the color below, because they are already stuck together. Or you delete this layer. You just want to delete the color layer. But accidentally you draw them together on the same layer and it will disappear. So remember, when you have a background layer like this, and you want to draw something that's easy to edit, as well as move it, erase it easily, then you just need to create a layer here. It has already created an extra layer on top of its color layer. Here is layer 1 and above this is layer 2. There is a feature that the higher the layers are, the higher the strokes will be. The further down, the layers that are pushed down and will be at the bottom. It will be classified by layers. I will show you an example. My color layer is on the bottom layer. On the second layer, I will paint a red patch. Now if you don't like it and you delete it, the layer below it will not be affected at all. Only the layer you are drawing is affected. And you can even easily move this too and easily delete it. And now you continue to want to draw another color. But you do not want to affect that color. You continue to create another layer above. Now you will draw blue. Its properties are still the same. You can easily move it away and easily delete it without losing the color layer below. You don't like the blue color on top anymore. You want the blue color below. You just need to drag this layer down. That is, you just need to drag the layer you want to be below, the layer you want to be on top. That's roughly how it is. Not to mention it has another very interesting function. That is, in this streak, for example, after you turn it off, it will disappear. And you want to change color. But like this, if you change the color, you can't draw like this, because it will be smeared out. At this point, you just need to lock that layer. It's on this button. This is the button that only lets you paint in its selection. If you paint outside, it won't smudge. It only paints in the parts that you have painted before. Then this is a great function for you to draw or color without smearing and without affecting any layer. When you finish changing the color, you will lose the old color. Even if you erase it, it will also be lost. So how to when you want to overcolor, but do not want to be affected by the original color layer? What will you do? You will continue to create a new layer. Here you will select clipping. This will be a sub-layer of this. That is, you can paint as much as you like. It will be in this selection. If you don't like it anymore, delete it or turn it off. It won't affect the layer underneath. It only works with the layer. This means that a layer like this will only be able to sub-layer for another layer. So I have briefly introduced my software already. Please like and subscribe to our channel.